So, very different room. So we're gonna come on here. Kill gangs, steal shit gangs, destroy shit gangs. There's no reason why you should want to be associated with that. Now, like, move this a little bit closer, maybe. So, one that I really have a problem with, and the other one's hit or miss. Depends on the situation and the mood. But other than that, I have no problem with police. If the cop's gonna be an asshole, then yeah. But cops in general, no. So, as I was saying, this is live because I couldn't fucking, my phone wouldn't let me record this shit. And I'm just not gonna go through the whole process of fucking recording it for YouTube and then recording it through YouTube because I don't know. I feel like going live would be easier. But so these people, there's no reason why you should be that anti-police. It's a job. Their job isn't to arrest you because they don't like you. Some cops ought to do that. There's bad cops. There's bad everything. Because cops are people. If a bad person becomes a cop, it's a bad cop. For the most part. So, like, so I can't say, like, if a bad person becomes a cop and they're going to be a bad cop. Because there's people that go to jail and go to court and shit, and then they end up going to the military instead of, you know, because depending on what you're got arrested for, the judge possibly give you the option of joining the military instead of going to jail, because the military boot camp's going to completely reform you as a person for the most part. They're going to teach you responsibility, fucking shit like that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be a bad soldier, marine, sailor, airman, whatever. Sometimes people will go into the military as like a good person and then not be in the military. So back to the whole fake blood shit. She's never met a fucking person in her life, I can damn near guarantee, who is an actual blood. She's from Detroit, or so she says. But that don't mean you're a fucking gangbanger. Okay, so just because you wear a lot of red and say you're a blood doesn't mean you're a blood. You haven't gone through the whole initiation shit to be a blood. You're not a blood. Not how hard you try. You could say you're a blood all you fucking want, but that doesn't mean you're a blood. Now, I was really fucking pissed off about this earlier, the first time I tried to record it. I went through 3 fucking times of trying to record it, and my phone's like, fuck you. So I'm going live. But the first time I ever tried recording, it was like a hardcore fucking rant. But now it's just kind of meh. Okay, so there's no reason at all you should want to be associated with gangs. There's certain gangs that being associated with wouldn't be a bad thing at all. There's a biker gang in Arizona, I think, where their entire aspect is to protect children from people that have abused them. That's, well, I guess it's by definition a gang, in a way. Well, I guess gang's kind of a derogatory term now, but it's basically a gang. Like, they don't do illegal shit, they do good shit. So stuff like that, there's no problem wanting to be associated with. Like Bloods and Crips and shit, no reason you'd want to be associated with that. Now, I don't remember exactly if that's even true, what the original Bloods and Crips, what they did. Apparently, it was good shit. Apparently. I don't know if that's true or not. Back then, I could see no problem wanting to be a Blood or a Crip, if that's true. Bloods and Crips now, you don't want to be associated with. Because if you really don't want to be associated with police, don't post gang shit unless you're like reporting it. I mean, like reporting it, I don't mean like calling the police reporting it. I mean like reporting on it, like news people. There's, okay, it's coming from a basic law enforcement standpoint. Law enforcement is a job. As a police officer, is to uphold the law, arrest people breaking the law, and keep the people in your community safe. That's what police officers are for. Now, there's certain police officers, not going to name names, that will find any fucking reason to get you in trouble. Speaking from personal experience. This cop in Elma stopped. So he pulled me over for a legitimate reason. Why he ran my plate, I don't know. I'm assuming, because that's just the kind of person he is, he ran the plate because he saw me driving. I shouldn't have been driving, but I had to get to school. It was either I went to school or I got dropped. Because I go to an alternative school, and you have to go or you get dropped. And I was on my way to school after taking my son to his appointment. And he drove past me, went around the block, caught up with me at an intersection, and then ran my plate. The reason I got pulled over was because the van had no insurance on it. I didn't know the van had no insurance on it. I thought the insurance was still good. It was supposed to be good until, I think, this month. No, it was supposed to be good until last month. But I'm assuming he ran my plate because he saw it was me driving, and he wanted a reason to pull me over and get me in trouble. Now, in my opinion, needs to get fired because 2 weeks ago he stopped. She was just walking down the road to go to school. He stopped her and wanted to search her bag for no reason. She could have said no. She did say no. But there was no probable cause for him to stop her and want to search her. Now, the first time I got pulled over was here in Clare. I was going to pick up Matt from work because my mom was sick, and like sick to the point where she like really couldn't get out of bed to go drive. Like she wasn't like extremely sick, the one where she couldn't get out of bed, but she couldn't really get out. She wasn't well enough to drive the whole mile or so down to where we used to work to pick him up and bring him back. And it was like -5 at like almost midnight, and he had nothing but a hoodie to walk back in. So I said, fuck it, drove down there, picked him up, and I got pulled over as I was pulling in. And the cop's like, well, why are you driving if you don't have your full license? And I explained to him, I was like, my mom's sick, she can't really drive. And my friend has nothing to walk back in but a hoodie. So he's like, well, it's understandable, but you shouldn't be driving. I was like, well, yeah, I know, but I'm not going to let him walk 2 miles in below zero temperatures and nothing but a hoodie. He's like, well, it's understandable. He just gave me my ticket. He's like, just go home, don't drive anywhere else. I was like, well, that's what I was planning on doing anyway. And that was the end of it. I mean, he searched the van, but because he asked me if I had any drugs or anything in there, because there's people around here known for having drugs. Like just yesterday when I was at work, someone got pulled over across the street, and I watched him get pulled over. I was like, oh, probably just didn't signal or some shit. Not even 10 minutes later, 2 more cops pulled up. I was like, oh shit. And then one of the guys I work with, he was across the street. He came back over and he's like, they just got arrested for drugs. He was like, there's like 3 cops and there's like 4 people or 3 or 4 people in handcuffs. I was like, oh, sucks to be them. But back to the whole point of this, there's no fucking reason why I should post shit like that and then blame the police when they ask you if you have gang affiliation, like actual gang affiliation. If the police are going to stop you, for the most part, like 99.9% of the time, if the police stop you, they have a reason to stop you. Like 3 weeks ago, I'd say about 3 weeks ago, me and my friend Patrick were fucking around wrestling at the hospital, like because okay, there's like the hospital and then a really fucking long ass parking lot, and then apartments. So we were at like the far end of the parking lot, and we were just fucking around wrestling and shit, just fucking around. Some lady drove by or was in the apartments or some shit and called the police because she thought we were actually fighting. And there was police across the street at the other apartments for an actual fight, and they left there, came over, and basically just came over to make sure that we weren't actually fighting, making sure everything was all right, make sure no one was hurt, nothing like that. So it was just kind of like, yeah, we're just fucking around. And the cop was like, well, why are you nervous? And it's like, we're standing here. We're at that point we were just standing around talking and shit. And 2 police vehicles just fucking whipped in with their lights on. So if you're just kind of standing there doing absolutely nothing, and then police just roll up, fucking like whip into the parking lot with their lights on and shit, you're gonna get nervous. Like, what the fuck is going on? And I explained to the cop, it's like, well, we're just kind of standing here and y'all just kind of whipped in with your lights on. Just kind of scared me a bit because I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't really know, other than Patrick, Josh, and Tristan, I didn't really know the people I was with, which was just another person. I didn't really know them. I don't know what was in their vehicle, so it's just kind of like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. And if they get caught with shit, I get questioned about it because I'm there. And I have about $1,000 in fines, that's including the $125 to get my license back. And I had multiple run-ins with the police over the past 4 or so years, good and bad. And I don't go around saying fuck the police and fuck 12 and shit. I don't even understand fuck 12. The fuck does that even mean? Like, that's either way. So these people have like maybe 1 run-in with the police because they're doing illegal shit, and then blame the cops if they got in trouble. If you weren't doing illegal shit, just doing normal shit that a 15-year-old should be doing, you wouldn't be in trouble and have a police record. And if you have an extensive police record, so even if you just get talked to by the police about something that's going on, they're gonna make a report and it's gonna go on your record. Even if they're just questioning you, being like, well, what's going on here? What is this? Do you know about this people? You know where they are? So if they ask you, they're coming and question you about an actual crime that you may have affiliation with, they have to make a report of it. If they're just coming to stop you because of something that's going on down the road, they're just kind of like, hey, have you seen this guy? Do you know anything about him, where he would be, anything like that? Do you know him at all? That's not something to make a report of. But if they come in because someone's like, well, they know about that, they knew about it, and they come and question you, you're going to end up having a record. So the last time I got pulled over, which is the actual second time I got arrested over the past 5 years or so, the cop had my record pulled up on his computer, and I was just kind of looking through it, and that's kind of not something I, can't look at because it's my record. And I said, like, it's not public, but it's my record. I can go to the courthouse and probably, or like most likely, get a copy of my record, not like report specifically. Well, probably I want my record. They can make a copy of it, and you just list stuff, a reason I've talked to the police. And one of the things on there was because I brought a knife to school. And it's because one of the guys I used to hang out with a lot, I sold him a knife a week or so before. And I wasn't even there that day. And I guess he threatened someone with it, or someone thought he threatened them with it. And I got asked about it because he told the officer that he got the knife from me, and which wasn't a lie. But I'm guessing the officer kind of assumed that I gave him the knife like that morning or some shit. And I told the cop and the principal, because I got pulled into the principal's office, the cop was there. She asked me about it. And it's just kind of like, yeah, I sold him the knife, but I was like, I don't even know anything about that, when that happened, anything. I just knew that it happened at school, at my old school in Elma. And she was like, oh, well, I guess he threatened to stab someone with the knife that he got from you. And it happened like earlier in the morning. And I was like, I didn't even get here until like 11:30. And she's like, well, I don't know that. And the principal, who's a complete fucking retard, that's not a good word. He's a complete fucking asshole. He just does dumb shit. And he's like, well, you were there that morning. I'm like, no, this was yesterday. I didn't get here till 11:30 yesterday. Pull up my attendance. I didn't get here until like fourth period. And he's like, well, I'm telling you, you were here. And I was like, I'm telling you I wasn't. And pulled it up, saw I didn't get there till like halfway through fourth period. He's like, well, all right. Officer's like, all right, well, you weren't there that morning. You couldn't have given him the knife. I was like, I sold him the knife like a week before. But she's like, well, that's not really illegal. Just because you sold him the knife doesn't mean you had anything to do with that. As she's like, well, why did you sell it to him though? I'm like, because he wanted it. I wanted money. So I sold him the knife. I sold it to him for like $5. And it was like a $3 knife I got from Walmart. But like that shit goes into a report. I just kind of trailed off, I realized. But people having one or two run-ins with the police for dumb shit, I'm assuming because of who she is and like her personality, I'm assuming that she got in trouble with the police for drugs. That's just most likely weed, because that's all people in Alma fucking do is weed. Like, there's like one or two tweakers in Alma, and population of almost like 10,000, which is really fucking surprising because Alma's kind of a small town. I mean, it's the biggest town in Gratiot, but it's a small town. It takes like 45 minutes to walk from one end of town to the other. Whereas I moved to an even smaller town with more drugs, which takes maybe 20 minutes, half an hour to walk from one end to the other. Going that way. That way probably take about an hour and a half. But people, like, I haven't met a single person up here that's just fuck 12 or fuck the police. Go to Elma, and the only reason that they say fuck 12 or fuck the police is because they have one or two bad run-ins with the police, and they blame the police for them doing illegal shit. Like, one of my exes was hardcore fucking anti-police. I'm like, why? She's had no run-ins with the police other than like one that I know of. And it's because she was smoking weed at school. Somehow that's the police's fault. And she was on probation for 6 months, I think. I don't see how that's the police's fault because she smoked weed at school. And this chick, I don't even know if she's had run-ins with the police. I'm assuming she has. But there's no reason to be anti-police because you've had one or two run-ins with the police because you were doing illegal shit. The police don't control what you do. If I go and fucking go to Walmart or some shit and steal something and I get caught and get arrested, that's my fault. Shouldn't have been stealing shit. You smoke weed, you get illegal anyway, because weed's kind of partially legal in Michigan as long as you have your card. If you smoke weed illegally and get caught smoking weed or get caught with weed and you get arrested for it, that's your fault. Like, the first time I got actually in trouble, I got arrested because I was with one of my dumbass friends. He's not really my friend anymore. We went to the dollar store and I was hungry as fuck and I wanted food. So we went to the dollar store. I was looking for something to get. And he comes up to me and he's got half a fucking six-pack in his pockets. I take it from him. And I like the way I took it was kind of exaggerated. I just kind of like took it like this. And one of the workers came around the corner of the aisle and assumed I was trying to put it in my pocket inside my jacket. When in reality, I was kind of like pulling it from him. So she's like, leave. I'm going to call the police. I'm like, okay. I was taking it from him to be like, hey, he's stealing this shit. And we had friends across the street over at B&B. We kind of go over there like, hey, let's go. They're like, all right, well, hold on. Let's pay for this shit. So she comes over and calls the police because she thinks we're going to go over there and steal shit. When in reality, we're just going to go there and get them and leave. But she comes over, calls the police pull up. They don't find anything on me because I wasn't stealing shit. And then they search him. And he's got a pack of lighters he stole. He's got other lighters that he already had on him. He had a bowl. He had like a gram of fucking weed. And he got arrested. Well, we both got arrested, but I got released. We both got released the same night, I think. But I went and it was just kind of like okay, I'm here for shit that I wasn't doing. But I'm not going to blame that on them. Because as far as the chick knows, I was trying to put it in my pocket. But I wasn't going around after that being all fuck the police and shit because I got arrested for shit I wasn't doing. I went to court. I was just kind of like, yeah. I was with him. They're like, all right, 6 months probation. I'm like, okay. So that ended up being like $500 in fines just for going to the court. That's like, it makes sense why you have court fines just for going to court. But in the same sense, it doesn't. Because, like, it makes sense because that's how they make money. But they also get tax money. And I don't know if, like, for judges and shit, their pay comes from tax dollars. Which I would assume because they work for the government. They work for the state government, which is the government. So I figured that would come out of tax money. And I go into jail and just getting booked and processed like the last time I was arrested. I got booked and processed and released in like 20 minutes. There was no reason at all for me to go into the jail just to get booked and processed and then released. It's a waste of time and money. Which I'm assuming the only reason they do that shit is for money. It's $12 or $34. I don't fucking know. Because when I left, the booking officer was like, you owe $12. Just bring that when you go to court. Or just, work out with the collections to pay it. I'm like, okay. So I got a letter in the mail a couple weeks ago saying like, hey, basically just an invoice from the jail saying I owed money. And that said 34. I don't know if that was a typo because if you type 1, 2, that's right next to the 3 and the 4. So it might have been a typo. MAO $34. I don't fucking know. But I wasn't given a set date to pay the booking fee. So I don't fucking know. But what these people don't understand is that a police officer is just as much of a job as like a fireman or some shit. They go to work for their shift. They clock in. They work their shift. They clock out. They go home. It's literally just a job. And their job is to stop people from doing illegal shit or catch people doing illegal shit and keep people safe. That's their job. People hate on police because they get arrested doing dumb shit. I have almost $1,000 in fines because I got caught doing dumb shit. Which, two of the reasons I got pulled over, or two of the reasons that I got in trouble, were not really dumb, but I was doing shit I shouldn't have been doing. The first time I got pulled over, I was going to pick up Matt from work when it was -5, he had to walk back. The last time I was going to school, so I didn't get dropped. And yeah, I shouldn't have been driving, but I was driving because I didn't want Matt walking home in like -5-degree weather in a hoodie over 2 miles. And I didn't want to get dropped from school because then I have to go back to the school and re-enroll and do all that shit again. And I've already had to re-enroll once because I was up here and I'm like an hour from my school. Because I'm like 45 minutes from Elma and Middleton's like 10 minutes from Elma. So about an hour. Give or take, depending on who's driving, because Ashton makes it from Elma here in like 20 minutes. Which is, I'm surprised he hasn't got pulled over yet. Because he's been up here multiple times. The last time I went down to Elma with him, one time before I had to go to work, he had to work at 3, and we left at like 2:15 because the fucking Arby's wouldn't give me my check until 2, which is kind of fucking dumb. Because like there's not really set times. They're just kind of like, hey, you're not supposed to get it until 2. Because you can get it from 11 to 2 and then like 3 to 5. And then anytime past that. Those are the times you're not supposed to get it. It's between 11 and 2 and 3 and 5. Or something like that. So I went in there. It was like 1:45, and they're like, well, we can't give it to you until 2. I'm like, it takes 10 seconds to walk over here, open the drawer, get my check, and hand it to me. But um, so these people are fucking dumb. Like, that's why, part of the reason why people should have 2 years required in the military. Because they're not going to do this dumb shit. They're not going to act like fucking hood rats. Some people might still act like hood rats. Some people, military doesn't work for them. Like one of my exes, Sam, her brother had the choice of going to jail or joining the military. And he chose military. But in basic, he got dropped from basic. Like a week in. I don't remember why. It was for something fucking stupid that he refused to do. That was literally nothing. So, like, stop acting like you're in a gang. It makes you look dumb, makes you look fucking bad. And if you're really anti-police, acting like you're in a gang is gonna get more police attention. So if you're fucking walking around saying I'm a blood, posting I'm a blood, if people be like, hey, she's possibly has gang affiliation, and reports that to the police, and the police are going to pay more attention to them to make sure they're not doing anything illegal because of them saying that they're in a gang. Saying you're in a gang makes you look fucking stupid. Like, it just makes you look like shit, basically. It doesn't make you look cool, none of that shit. It makes you look like a fucking retard. Like, yeah, that's not a good word to use, but fuck it. You seem, and like the way that these people act that think they're in gangs or act like they're in gangs make them seem even more fucking stupid because they can't fucking talk right. They don't fucking type right. They don't speak or write or type in actual fucking English at all. They completely fucking drop words or like make up words like ion. It's not a made up word. It's a scientific term for something. I don't remember what it is. But they use ion instead of I don't. I don't understand. But I hate my fucking generation. Like, maybe I'm just more mature than them. I know for a fact I am. But maybe it's just the way I was raised or some shit. I don't fucking know. Like, you ask them, like, what are you doing with your life? What are you plans on doing with your life? Like, I don't fucking know. Like, I got this shit planned. I might not even join the Corps. I might. I probably don't fucking. I might. I don't fucking know. As of right now, for the situation I'm in financially and then having a 4-month-old son, the National Guard gives me puts me in a better situation for him. Because I'll go to basic, or I'll go to drills and get money before I go to basic. Because you get paid for RSP. And then you go to basic, come back, you get part of your signing bonus if your MOS falls under a category that gets a signing bonus. Like, for me joining the Guard and doing infantry, I get a $20,000 signing bonus. And I get half of it after basic. On top of the active pay I get in basic before taxes, so I'll have like roughly $11,000 after basic, which is going to go towards paying shit off if I still have to, buying shit for my son, fucking probably getting a better fucking house because I live in a trailer in Clare, which really isn't, it's not the worst place to raise a kid, but it's not the best. Because like there's a trailer up across the park a little bit that I'm pretty sure got shut down for being a meth lab because there's a fucking chemical shower outside. And all the windows and shit are boarded. But I would just rather like have a place somewhere. So like once I'm graduated, I probably, if I get stationed in Cadillac, or if I get attached to that unit, I'll probably move up closer to Cadillac. But like right now, I live half an hour to an hour away from Cadillac. Uh, but and then after that, I'll probably join the Corps. Because either way, I'm going to be doing infantry. I would join the Corps now, but I have to graduate because I go to an alternative. Whereas with the Guard, I mean, yeah, the Corps would give me more incentive to get my shit together and get my shit done to graduate. But the Guard, I just need to have the credits for a junior to enlist. And then once I get all that shit, once I get that shit all done, I'll get enlisted and then go to like start through RSP and all that shit until I graduate. And I'm assuming, depending on if my school decides to grade my shit, I should have the credits to enlist, but I'm not sure. And I'm gonna try to get. I should be graduated over the summer, or the beginning of next school year. And when I graduate, I get my ship date pushed up. So when I'm enlisted before I graduate, my ship date will be next summer because to them, I'm still going to have a full year of school. And then they're just going to want me to get all that done and then go the summer after when I'm supposed to graduate. If I have the credits now, can enlist now, and I plan on going to basic this summer, and then going to AIT next summer, which I'm okay with either way. I get my shit together. I get more money for my son because working at Arby's, I'm not getting much. I'm making minimum wage off of minimum hours because I'm allowed to have 24, and I have maybe 18 this week. I have 17 and a half hours this week. When I'm allowed to have 24. Again, it's a hell of a lot more than I used to have. I used to only get like 6 or 10 hours a week, and now I'm having 17 and a half. But I'm getting completely fucking off topic here. Either way, don't act like you're in a gang. Don't want to be in a gang. Don't try to be in a gang. Because it makes you look dumb. And by gang, I don't mean like biker gang and shit. I mean, granted, you don't really want to be associated with that depending on what they do. If it's like a 1%er gang, you definitely don't want to be associated with that unless you really just don't give a fuck. And those of you that don't know what a 1%er gang is, that's a gang that runs guns, drugs, kills people, shit like that. Riding clubs are completely different. My ex's grandma's in Sentinels Riding Club somewhere in Michigan, and they basically just ride. That's all they do. That's all most riding clubs are. Like, there's one, I forget like the actual name for it. It's like Gold Wing Riders Association or some shit. That all they do is just get together and ride. Oh, it's fucked my battery out. I'm at 9%. I'm gonna have to cut this off soon. But acting like you're a blood or some shit and not being able to speak or write properly makes you look really fucking dumb. Oh, what the fuck was I gonna say? I'm gonna have to cut this off soon though, because my battery's almost dead. I'm probably gonna go. Probably just do all my videos live because I have really shitty service up here, so I can't like really record a video and then upload it because uploading it takes a long time. That takes a lot of data, and I lose data a lot in my fucking house. So I'm probably just gonna do all my videos live. When Matt gets back, we're probably gonna start up our talk show, and we need like an actual fucking set for our talk show. And we'll probably end up moving something into Matt's room. I'll just move that into Matt's room. We might do a live video for our talk show channel. We haven't really decided on a name, but the name we're going with right now is Biscuits and Bullshit because Matt has an unhealthy obsession with biscuits and gravy, and we just talk shit. But long story short, there's no reason to hate the police. Certain police officers, it's understandable. Some police officers can be complete fucking assholes, no matter how nice and compliant you are with them. But saying fuck the police and hating police as a whole is kind of fucking dumb. What am I at now? Acting like you're in a gang and not speaking or writing properly makes you seem dumb. Half the shit this generation does is fucking dumb. They're easily entertained, easily amused. They don't go do shit. Like, they would rather fucking stay inside and smoke weed, play Xbox and shit, than go build shit. Or do actually something constructive with their time. Or productive, whatever the fuck the term is. So like I said though, coming from like a law enforcement kind of standpoint, like I'm not a law enforcement officer. I'm not a police officer. Here in a couple weeks or so, I'm gonna finish getting all my shit to be a bounty hunter, which is basically the best. And a gun and taser. That's all I need. I mean, theoretically, I could start right when I turn 18. But I could get the other shit, but it'd be kind of dumb to not have, like, a protective vest. Kind of dumb. And like going undercover and like to get someone without them knowing that you're there to arrest them is understandable, not having a protective vest. But to actually like make your presence known, you know, that you're there to do your job and arrest them and take them back to jail is, you know, you're gonna kind of need one. But I keep getting sidetracked. Either way, coming from that standpoint, there's no reason you should hate the police for doing their job. If you're doing illegal shit and you get caught, you're gonna get arrested. Like, if I go fucking shoot someone, I can hate the police Ah, you fucking cunt. Okay, we're still good. So I'm gonna have to cut this off like really fucking soon. My phone's at 5%. But you can't hate the police for doing their job and arresting you for doing illegal shit that you shouldn't be doing in the first place. And sometimes police are fucking stupid. Like there was something in, I think, Detroit, where police officers arrested other police officers that were undercover. Yeah, that happened. I don't remember if it was in Detroit or not. It was somewhere. I think it was Detroit. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. Either way, I'm probably just gonna end up doing all my videos live. Me and Matt will probably end up doing all of our talk show shit live. Probably just run it like a regular talk show. Probably try to do like our fucking episodes. Probably end up doing them like once a week or so. But this is that. I'm at 5%, so I'm gonna have to cut this off. Like I'm probably just gonna do all my videos live. So I'll see you all in the next one.